So, good evening to all.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Dr. P. Siva Prasad. I'm a former Assistant General Manager from State Bank of India. And I worked in Audit Department of State Bank of India. I'm the fellow member of Cost Accountancy and a fellow member of Company Secretaries of India. And a fellow member of Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. And a fellow member of Insurance Institute of India. That is Life and General Insurance. That is a professional institute for the insurance companies. And I am the member of All India Management Association. And I visited a number of countries to study the best banking practices. And most of them were implemented in India's largest bank, that is State Bank of India. And today's topic is on forensic audit review classes, because almost all classes are completed. Whatever my experience is there with regard to forensic audit, I wish to share to you. Not only that one, nearly 5 days, 10 groups, they have to present the presentations. What they have learned for the up to date based on the whatever the classes they have completed, and they understand that particular concept. Based on that, you have to give the presentation, and I will give one topic to you. Each topic to be addressed by 7 persons. The total participants are 70 are there, and 10 groups. Each group, they have to present, they have give the presentation on one topic. And in that one topic also, critically analyze and the latest development on that particular topic with regard to forensic audit only, not the other subject. Today, honestly speaking, the frauds in the financial system. Financial system means not only the banks, the insurance companies, the capital market, the foreign exchange market, the commodities market, all markets. The frauds are increasing year on year basis. With that, the technology is also there. Today, technology, most of your data is not in the physical form. This is only available in RAM, random access memory. That is a hard disk. So in that hard disk also, we can change, we can modify, and the modification and the changes are also, some reports will be generated by the system, like exceptional reports like that. So frauds are increasing. The total data, where it is, we don't know. Whether it is in safest hands or not, we don't know. Even State Bank of India, my bank, now it is under cloud. Cloud means the server, the data, the communication systems, not in my control. It is the control of the cloud, the service provider. Whenever I require changes, I will inform to the cloud. Whenever the communication system is not up to the mark, I will ask the cloud. Whenever the memory is a problem is there, I will ask the cloud, and the cloud will charge accordingly. It is like a electricity meter reading type. Almost all banks now they are switching over to cloud. Whether the cloud is they safeguarding our data, or any manipulations are happening, we don't know. In that case, there is a possibility and a probability of frauds are also happening. So earlier, very few frauds. Now, on account of technology, on account of IQ, intelligence, and on account of money thrust on the how to earn more money, different modus operandi frauds are developed. Even banks also, deposits are frauds are there, advances of frauds are there, remittances of frauds are there, bank guarantees of frauds are there, letters of credit frauds are happening. So whatever the product, the cash management frauds are there, automated television, some frauds are there. Whatever the product we have touched, some frauds are there. Violating the norms of the regulator, violating the norms of the banker. That is happening at the root level, that is operational level of the bank. Not only the banks, insurance companies. In the insurance companies also, number of claims they are paying. Because earlier I worked on deputation from State Bank of India. I was the deputy to SBI General Insurance as vice president. In the vice president, I used to give some assignments to do the forensic audit of the claim. The real loss is something. The claim is something. In one place, in Andhra Pradesh, cotton ginning mills are more. Cotton ginning mills are more. But normally any corporate, they are enjoying profits on the core activity only. The core activity is nothing but the ginning process, whatever the hiring charges or whatever the sale, all are their core activity. But in that particular place, they are not only earning revenue on account of core activity, but also some revenue through insurance claims, wrong claims. Every year, they will put some cotton and the least price cotton, waste cotton, and put it fire, and they will, loss assessors will come, they will manage the loss assessor or surveyors, they will claim the amount. Once that amount is 50 lakhs, claim the amount, the loss is 50 lakhs, they will claim for 5 crores like that. This is a regular phenomenon because even most of the industries also, they know pretty well about all these things. That's why they are also more cautious about this type of frauds. Even in one place, seacoast, the motor driven boats that cost 10 lakhs or so. That particular people, the body of the motor of that particular boat is costly. It is if at all they sell in the market, they will get 5 to 6 lakhs. What they are doing is they are opening the motor and drag this empty boat to the sea, and they will put it in the sea and come back, and they will tell the boat is submerged in the water. They are climbing. Then insurance claim, the company, they stop to insure the mechanized motor boats. So like that, for each and every sector, every industry, some fraudulent transactions are increasing. Today, cyber frauds are also increasing. So here, the forensic audit, a lot of a demand is there in the coming days. And you have to acquainted with the knowledge of the technology. Fintech companies, financial technology companies are increasing. And the one of the opportunity that is available to the forensic auditors are Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. This IBC code is formulated in 2016. Before that, the DRTs are there, Surface Act is there, and the civil courts also we are approaching. Some cases were filed in high courts. But later on, all these things, now IBC, after IBC is there, nobody should admit the case in civil courts or high courts, except Supreme Court, particularly wherever any problem is there in the code or for that purpose only, they don't go through in detail also. But in IBC, forensic audit, a lot of importance is there. But in the IBC code, they never mentioned forensic audit name. It is called a transactional audit. In the transactional audit, 2 years, related party, non-related party 1 year. These two are to be audited by the transactional auditor. But for easy understanding purpose, all people they are called it as a forensic audit like that, correct? For that, lot of expertise is required. And if you go through the PUFE transactions, in every corporate, PUF transactions are there. PUFE, PUF means preferential, undervalue, extortionate, fraudulent. These 4 types are there. Preferential transaction. They will give preference whenever they are selling any asset. If the value of the asset is 1 crore, they will sell it to known persons 10 lakhs. They will give preference. If at all they want to sell goods, others they are selling 100 rupees, for known person 10 rupees. And the cost, if at all they are purchasing any raw material, normally the raw material cost is 20. Known people, they will pay 10 rupees, the 100 rupees per kg. Like that, the preference will be there. Undervalue transactions also there. And extortionate and fraudulent transactions are also there. For that, forensic auditors are very much required. In this forensic audit, if you want, once it is completed, and after acquiring that particular certificate, you please interact with the insolvency professions, IPs. IPs are those who have completed LIA exam, limited insolvency examination, and they are registered with or enrolled with IPA and registered with IBBA, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. How many IPs are there? Where they have located? All are available in IBBA website with the email address also, with the correspondence address also. That is a public website. You don't require any user ID password to open that one. And in your area operation, if at all any place person is there, you can directly interact. Why means particularly the PUF transactions in CIRP process, corporate insolvency resolution process, the insolvency professional that is called interim resolution professional, all resolution professional. He has to identify one person to do whether any PUF transactions are there or not. And first he has to get the approval from the adjudicating authority, that is NCLT. Once the NCLT is approved, then with the approval of the committee of creditors, he will give the assignment to the forensic audit. Normally earlier also, after my retirement, I worked as a auditor, concurrent auditor in stressed assets resolution branch. In the stressed assets resolution branch, only non-performing assets are there, particularly 114 accounts. Out of 114 accounts, nearly 75 accounts are filed with the NCLT. And the NCLT, once they file, the process will start. CIRP, Corporate Insolvency Resolution process will start. For that, appointment of valuers for each and every type of asset, land and buildings too, plant and machinery too, or securities valuation or business valuation too, people are there. If the plant and machinery is a big one, or land number of locations are there, number of people. For each and every location, two valuers are required for each type of asset. At the same time, he has to appoint the forensic transactional auditor. There is no nomenclature or a terminology is there in the particular IBC like forensic audit, but it is a transactional auditor. Code itself mentioned transaction, but normally by usage, every people we are appointing forensic auditors like that. But it is a very easy. Why? Because preferential transaction list is given in the IBBI website. Undervalue transactions, what type of undervalue transaction that are happening in the corporates, they have given the list also, examples, and fraudulent or extortionate transactions. If you go through this four, this is not only for IBC, but also other companies also, this is common. So here, if you go through and understanding that particular the PUF transactions, then scope is good. And not only that one, everybody knows about Indian Banks Association. Every year, they are giving announcement for forensic auditors. And they are sending that letter to the concerned professional institutes also. So the concerned professional institutes, in turn, they will circulate it to the members or put it in their website. Once that is applied, then they will empanel you. Once empanelment process has happened, then it is very easy to address the forensic audit of the banks. Loans and advances or deposits or remittances or money laundering activities, all are comes under the different areas, foreign exchange transactions or guarantees or the letters of credit, etc., etc. So wide opportunities are there, particularly in the banking sector also. Not only that one, the KYC intermediaries, know your customer intermediaries. SEBI is having so many intermediaries. The intermediaries, if at all they are doing wrong things or any suspected or any fraudulent activities are there, then the SEBI will appoint forensic auditors. So here opportunities are wide over a period of time, like Forensic Auditor Association or initiative may also be floated in India. Today, I will discuss about the PUF transactions in nutshell. After that, I will allot the four groups, particularly four topics, and how they have to present the topics. I will discuss. Tomorrow, at the same time, remaining part of the PUF transactions, and after that, the remaining four groups. After that, next week, I will discuss about bank frauds, particularly the live frauds. I will discuss again four groups. Like that, this will spread in eight classes. within 8 classes, I will complete the same. Up to this point of time, any doubts are there, sir? Any clarifications that are required, sir? Sir, madam.
No, sir. We are clear, sir.
Okay. Now coming to this is because particularly the Board of Advanced Studies, this is a wide coverage and the syllabus is also good. And most of the people, they are liking the syllabus. Even our institute also given presentation to SEBI, I think so. And what is the end result? I don't know. But I am discussing first about IBC. IBC, lot of scope is there. And the banks are also a lot of scope is there for forensic auditors. On 28th May 2016, the code was published in the official gazette after the passage in Parliament. Everybody knows about this one. The code was published in the official gazette. Earlier, the bank loans are to be resolution is happening through SARFAESI 2002 or DIRTs or Lok Adalat or compromise or one-time settlement or some cases in civil courts, etc., etc. But the time taken to resolve the cases is more time. Second one is the cost is also increasing. And at the time, bankers are getting little. So to overcome all these problems, IBC 2016 was implemented. And a number of cases are also admitted in various NCLTs across the country. It has been hailed a major economic measure aimed at aligning insolvency laws with international standards. Once the IBC is a cross-border insolvency was started, then lot of demand will be there for the IBC, cross-border insolvency. The cross-border insolvency, not only the cross-border, individual and a partnership, not at a finalist. Finalist means whatever the rules and regulations are not there, that is not announced. As on date, IBC is for LLPs, limited insolvency, the limited LLP, limited liabilities partnership, and companies only. And the individuals and the partnership in due course, they are ready to release. But after pandemic COVID-19, a lot of damage was happened to the economies. That's why this is not the right time to introduce the individual and the partnership. That's why they put it on hold. Once the economy is activated, then the individuals and the partnerships will release. Thereafter, the transactional audit demand will increase substantially. So aligning the insolvency law, even surface it to 2002, nearly 20 years completed. Today, bankers are comfortable. Debt recovery tribunals, number of cases are filed, and there also a lot of time is taken. And the courts also, some of the cases 8 years, some of the cases 12 years, some of the cases 20 years. So by the time the borrower as well as the loan who is given by the branch, people also no more. So that's why IBC is 180 days. Within 180 days, that is to be resolved with extension of 90 days. And in certain cases, another 60 days. Now, totally it is a 330. 330 is not a straight through process. 180. After that, only based on the particular situation or case by case, they will allow 90 or 60 like that. Parliament previous attempts to ensure recovery of public debt through the recovery of debts due to bankers or financial institutions 1990. Thereafter, RDBAF Act, Securitization by Securitization Surface Act with certain facts and facts of facets of the corporate insolvency. Sir, whatever the IBC is there or anything is there in due course, particularly all are focusing on recovery of non-performing assets of the bank. Some of the companies, they are misappropriated. Frauds are also happening. Most of the people knows about the Nirav Modi's case or the Kingfisher or the Sachin computers, etc., etc., etc. Here, people are using particularly corporates are using the public money. My deposits are your deposits, your savings bank account or current account or fixed deposit or recurring deposit or my recurring deposit or fixed, whatever the funds are with the bank by the public, the banks are giving by way of loans to the corporates as well as individuals. If corporates are using the funds for fraudulent purpose and not repaid that amount, then the ultimate sufferers are not the bank. Ultimate sufferers are the depositors. The funds belongs to the depositors, not by the bank. Bank is an intermediary agency. That's why number of acts are formulated. These did not result in the desired consequences. So 20 years still that is a problem. DRTs, that is also a problem. Courts, that is also a problem. One-time settlement or compromise, that is a problem. Asset reconstruction companies, that is another channel to recover the none, that is also a problem. The aim of the code is promote entrepreneurship and availability of the credit. Once the loans are turned into bank, that's why the World Bank clearly told to all the banks, all the countries, not banks, the capital and credit to be safeguarded. The capital of the country, the credit of the country. The capital, particularly for capital means the capital of the companies. That is the public issue, either the initial public offer or follow on public offer. This capital they are mobilizing, and after that mismanagement or misappropriation, thereby if the company is collapsed on account of misappropriation of funds, then future investors, they don't wish to deposit in capital. Once the capital is not there, company formation will not happen. Company formation is not happening. Unemployment will increase. Gross domestic product will decrease. Forex reserves will decrease. And regional imbalance, lot of problems will rise. That's why the capital to be safeguarded. That's why the Securities Exchange Board of India is to safeguard the capital of the companies. Still, most of the companies misappropriation is happening, and their functioning is not up to the mark. And some of the directors, some of the key managerial person, they are not fully involved in the day-to-day affairs of the company. At the same time, World Bank instructed all the countries credit to be safeguarded. Credit, who is giving credit? The banks. Once the banks are giving credit, the credit is also turned into non-performing asset on account of a misappropriation of funds by the borrowers. Then ultimate sufferers are deposited. If banks are collapsing like PMC, Punjab Maharashtra Cooperative Bank, or earlier Yes Bank, certain time, or Global Trust Bank, then in future, nobody will invest their funds in the particular banks by way of deposits. Once the deposits are not there, there is no banking activity. There is no lending activity. Once lending activity is there, the three important sectors in the economy, the primary, the secondary, the tertiary, the agriculture, industry, and service sector. Service sector like hospitals, service sector like IT companies, service sector like education, all agriculture or industries or service sector are funded by the banks. Their capital is a meager capital, meager. With the capital, it is very difficult for the company to run the company in a perfect condition. They require additional funds by way of debentures, by way of bonds, by way of lending from the financial institutions, by way of working capital or a term loan or bills discounting or guarantees, etc., etc. So once the credit non-performing, the credit is turned into non-performing on account of mismanagement or misappropriation of funds by the company, then automatically no individual will deposit at the bank. So that's why the World Bank is given instructions to all the countries, save the credit, save the capital. These two are important for the development of the country. So to promote, once it is not developed and bank loans are turned into bad, in future banks will not give any loans. Then entrepreneurship and availability of the credit will become zero. Ensure balance of interest of all stakeholders. Earlier, particularly in any liquidation are happening, the promoters only, the shareholders only. Now, on account of that promoters or shareholders, the company turn like this. Again, in insolvency also, why should we give that chance to them? Why not to others? Today, under IBC, the total process is being handled by the two people, that is financial creditors and operational creditors, not the corporate debtor, that is company or company's promoters or directors. Once the company turn into bad shape, then automatically the company will be run by the financial creditors or operational creditors or class of creditors like debentures or bonds, etc., etc. Promote time-bound resolution. Today, time-bound resolution is very much required. That's why time value of the money is there. Today rupee is not equivalent to tomorrow rupee on account of inflation. So the time-bound resolution of the insolvency is corporate persons and partnership and individuals. But the code is aimed at that one. But today only corporates and LLPs are there. Partnership and individuals, not at individuals. The insolvency and bankruptcy code list 4 types of vulnerable transactions like preferential, undervalued, fraudulent, and extortionate transactions. These are the 4 transactions it was identified. Preferential transaction, undervalued transaction, fraudulent transaction, extortionate transactions. These, almost all companies, these are happening. These are happening. Some preferential transactions, some undervalued transactions, some fraudulent transactions, some extortionate transaction. If you see the IBC code, the list is a beautiful list they have defined. These are the preferential, these are the undervalued, these are the fraudulent, these are the extortionate. Being a forensic auditor, oblique transactional auditor. In IBC, you are not call it as a forensic auditor. You are call it as a transactional auditor. And that list gives a lot of information where the frauds are going to be happening. Half transactions are covered under 43, 45, 60, and 50. Whether it is a preferential or undervalued or fraudulent, under section 43, 45, 66 and 50 of IBC, it is clearly defined. That's why you have to read that particular sections and you have to verify the checklist that are given under these four heads. Once that is, but here in IBC, they don't mention about the qualification, they don't mention about the experience, suitable candidates, competent persons to identify the PUF transactions. This much knowledge, this much experience, this course, that course, they never mention. Once, because you have undergone some training on forensic audit and you acquired some skills, then one or two cases if you handle, then automatically it is a cakewalk for you to handle the other companies also. So that's why the PUF transactions are defined under 43, 45, 66 and 50. The insolvency and bankruptcy enacted to address the troubling shortcomings in the existing staggered insolvency laws in India, to bring them under one umbrella is to serve face of a monumental challenge and equally monumental expectations. Even whenever you are verifying that one, once the company is turned into bad, that is a defunct on account of a financial crunch or liquidity problem or unable to pay the loans to the bank, something was happened. Today in the banking industry also, to get the loan, the promoters are giving a Eastern color picture about the company. Whenever the company is in liquidation, then they will tell in a different manner, black and white. At the time of taking the loan, they will tell, sir, market value of the share definitely will increase, sir. Our market share will increase, sir. Future is bright, sir. Not even Eastman color, beyond Eastman color it is there, sir. Even startup companies, the SV Silicon Valley Bank SVB failed on account of the startup companies or asset liabilities mismatch. Today, asset liabilities mismatch is there in the companies also. It is not only for banks. SVB Bank failed on account of startups. One example I am quoting here, FIPO law. That is a startup company like Lycius, Fresh to Home, like that. Online marketing of various products. Initially, lavishly they spend crores of rupees. Organizations are to be built brick by brick, brick by brick. Overnight, organization will not expand. Brick by brick. State Bank of India, today State Bank of India is a lot of balance sheet strength or financial strength is there on account of nearly more than 210 years experience, age, brick by brick, brick by brick. It is not expanded. It is not market capture overnight. 210 years, more than 210 years. Overnight, organization will not become a millionaires like that. Fipola is a simple example. Lot of youngsters are there, spend lavishly, that initiative, this initiative. First of all, you have to study the market demand. What is the demand and supply gap? And out of that, how many fraudulent transactions are there? We don't know. In FIPOL also. Now it is in IBC. Today, being a banker, I'm talking about being a banker of 36 years experience. The company failed means definitely some mismanagement or fraudulent transaction, 100%. 100%. Rare cases, it may be on economic problems. For economic problems, every government will take into, give some concessions. Even pandemic COVID-19 also, banks are, government of India given emergency loans straight away 20% on small, medium and 10% or 15% in other accounts like that. At present, according to the data available World Bank 2016, insolvency resolution take 4.3 years, which is the high side. Once the case is filed, 4.3 years. Thereby, the deterioration in the assets are happening. Compared to the United Kingdom, 1 year, USA 1.5 year, South Africa 2 years. Early resolution. If at today, the directors of the company, they are not interested to act as a directors. Why? Because personal guarantor to corporate data. Once the banks are giving loan to any company, they are asking the personal guarantors guarantee also for that loan. If the company is unable to pay and the bank has to take the position of the assets of the directors, today the directors are not interested. So mismanagement is more in the Indian companies as per the information available in the public websites. India was ranked 63rd of 199 in the world, ease of doing business. On the ease of result, because still stringent acts are required. This IBC is not any government action, it is a World Bank instructions. It is World Bank instructions. Thus, it is apparent that the code is perhaps one of the most critical litigation the illustrations introduced in the recent impact on the ease of doing business in India. Today, I'm giving only PUFE transactions a brief about IBC. Some of the people, they may completed the IBC exams also, or LIA exam. They may act as a IP or IRP or RP like that. But for others also, I want to share this information. This is a good scope. Data is available. Where I have to get the opportunity through IRP or RP. Those say the emails addresses are available in the website. If you go to the search, yours is Kochi, then automatically whoever is there in RP, particularly sorting is also there. Sorting and center-wise is there or not, I don't know, but sorting is also there. But this is the first opportunity. Why? Because for every case, in most of the cases, once the company is going for NCLT means definitely 99% of transactions out there. It is apparent that the code is perhaps the most critical decision introduced in the recent impact on the ease of doing business in India. The Insolvency Bankruptcy Code enacted radically changes the process of insolvency resolution in India. Today, bankers are also happy because the resolution time is reduced, time value of money. Second one is professionalism is there. Earlier, cases are filed means they will take their own sweet time. Keenly watched the economists and the jurors well as business investors for the reason that each aspect of the implementation law potentially critical impact on the ease of doing business. Today, the 63 rank is the best rank. Earlier it is 142, after that 135. Today, on account of GST or IBC, the rank is gradually increasing. For this reason, code is especially sensitive to interpretation and vital issue thrown up the inaugural year of the implementation be recognized and judicial remark for the same be understood. PUFE transactions. The insolvency code lists the 4 types vulnerable transactions, namely preferential, undervalued, fraudulent, extort. PUFE transactions are covered 43, 45, 66, and 50. It is important to prevent a distressed company from taking measures that could hamper the recovery to the creditors. If at all any fraudulent, reverse it. Reverse it. If at all any natural calamity is going to be happened and the government is giving some announcement shortly within 24 hours, some cyclone will come and a big disaster means everybody in the house, whatever their important belongings are there, they will pack it in the similar manner. If any negative signs are there in the company, the promoters are also doing like that. Whatever the assets are there, they will give it to others, and whatever the revenues are there, they will collect and they will pay their dues. So many irregular activities are happening. That's why the PUF transactions are introduced in the IBC 2016. As an individual, whenever natural calamity, my assets are to be saved. But that is a fear psychosis of the individuals. Here it is entirely different. The mindset of the people is very different. They want to preserve, they want to arraign, they want to encash the distressed company assets. There could be risk of a transaction being challenged of PUF transaction, and therefore the resolution professional, while facilitating the resolution of the corporate debt, is duty bound to form the opinion and identify the transaction and report them to the adjudicating authority for the appropriate relief in case of seller has been subject to PUF transaction. Most of the cases, particularly PUF transactions, the transaction to be reversed. Otherwise, nothing is there to sell in the market. Then nothing is there to appropriate it to the list of claimants. Whatever the best is there, they will. Whatever the easiest way is there, they will do all these things by the key managerial persons or the promoters or the directors, and they will give the sick company to the RPRIR. That's why the government has introduced this sections that is PUF transactions. Relevant sections of transaction or forensic audit of insolvency 43 preferential transaction relevant time 1 year, 2 years. They can go up to 1 year. They can go non-related party. Related party transactions up to 2 years. But this is only a guidance purpose. If at all any wrong things are there beyond that, also take the permission of adjudicating authority, you can move before beyond 2 years also. So 43 preferential transaction and a relevant time. Barat. The corporate debtor shall be deemed to have given preference when the liquidator or resolution professional, as the case may be, the opinion that the corporate has a relevant time given preference such as the transaction manners, subsection 2 of the persons referred shall be applied to the adjudicating for avoidance of the preferential transaction. One or more orders referred under section 44. So as per the act, whatever the wrong things are there, communicate to the adjudicating authority and get the permission. But here, the 4 list, if you go through the 4 list of PUFE, they have listed like anything. Good list. All areas are covered. All areas are covered. Once you go through that list, then you will, this is not only for IBC, but it is useful for forensic audit purpose of the corporates. Forensic audit purpose of the corporates. A corporate data shall be given the preference if there is a transfer of property or an interest thereof of the corporate data for the benefit of the creditor or the surety or the guarantor on account of antecedent of the financial debt or operational debt or other liabilities owned by the corporate. The transfer under clause A has affected the putting of the creditor or surety, a guarantor beneficial position would have been event of distribution, assets being, if it whatever they want, they distribute all these assets to all the people in different modes of PUF transaction. What assets available to the RP or IRP? Nothing. So that's why the forensic auditors, this is the best one for the time being. First, today, whatever the areas are there, I will communicate to you. This is one of the best opportunity for you after completion of this course. For the purpose of section, preference will is not included in the transfers. Transfer made the ordinary course of business, that is not a preference. And a transfer creating security interest in property acquired by the corporate data to that extent, that is also not preferential. Such security interest secures a new value was given at the time or after the signing of the security agreement that contains description of such a security interest was used by the corporate data to acquire the such property. This is a definition part of the particular preferential transaction. Such a transfer was registered with the information utility on or before the 30 days after the corporate data receives the position of the property, provided any transfer made shall not preclude the transfer deemed to be the corporate data. That explanation is also they have given in that article. This is under section 50, extraordinary transactions, one by one. Tomorrow I will go through that list also once again. And today I wish to discuss about the topics. Total members enrolled for this course is 70. Each group contains 7 members. Group 1.
Sir, we did not understand, sir. What is this group presentation, sir?
I am next. It is coming, sir. Next slides it will. Once it is over, I will start the whatever your answers are there. Sir, presentations that is introduced, it is a part of the course also. Part of the course means, suppose tomorrow some fraud was happened and you are identified as a forensic audit. You have to, sometimes once they have engaged as a forensic auditor, in the courts also you have to explain how the fraud was happened. Your presentation to the judiciary authority is also required. And sometimes once the fraud is identified, simply report is not the criteria. You have to inform to the particular top management of the company how it was. Suppose one bank has given one forensic audit assignment to you about the misappropriation of funds by the company. Once that is identified, you have to give the presentation to the bank credit function department of the bank. Sir, you have given this assignment. I have verified this one, and the broader areas of this one, and the fraud, this one. This is a modus operandi. They have did it. To get that type of skills, presentation was introduced in the diploma in forensic audit. And total 70 members are there. 70 members are split into 10 groups. And 10 groups means a group 1 to 10. Each group contains 1 to 7, one group of 7, 8 to 14, another group of 15 to like that up to 70. So once my brief presentation on forensic audit is completed, then you have to start the presentation. So for day, suppose today example, 2 people are to be presented. First group, they have to present for 1 hour, second group 1 hour. But total not 1 hour, only 45 minutes they have to present. And I will offer my comments also on that particular aspect or subject. For 15 minutes, both you and me analysis. Why have not involved, they not attempted that particular area, this particular area. In this case, this is also very, very important language. Thereby, it is as good as a brainstorming section on a particular forensic audit topics. So the 7 people through online only, they will discuss that one and they have to give the presentation. That too only 45 minutes. 15 minutes discussion. Group 1 presentations. Process of locating the financial or other information that is required to investigate or analyze the fraud allocated to you by the organization. That is the forensic audit purpose. Process is very important in the forensic audit. They have given assignment. How to proceed? What is the starting point? What is the ending point? What is the sub processes? And how to allocate this process to X or Y, your team members, particularly your assistants, and which area I have to train them, and which books or information they have to access. This process of locating financial or other information that is required to investigate. Analyze the fraud case allocated to you by the organization. That is a forensic audit purpose. If you don't know about the process, if you don't know about the objective, how to achieve the goal? How to achieve the goal? Suppose I have given one task, inventory fraud. Inventory fraud means total inventory I have to, in inventory management, particularly what are the various pricing system, that is LIFO or FIFO or weighted average or average, and what are the various registers, the stores ledger or bin card, or in bin card also minimum maximum reorder level, and what is meant by ABC analysis, or what is meant by WED analysis, and what is the economic order quantity. If you know all the things of the inventory, then only it is very easy to identify where the fraud was happened. What is the tender system? What is the organization tender system policy? Whether the policy is followed by the people for every tender system, whenever they are calling a tender for procuring the raw material or other areas. And what is the quotation? And whether the sealed tenders are invited or not. In tender opening, who are the other participants? If you know all these things, find out the fraud in tender system is easy. Otherwise, I don't know about that, how to write a report on the inventory fraud. What is the storage capacity? What is the total insurance policy taken for the particular raw material? Next, how many storekeepers are there? Next, what is meant to be purchase order? What is the requisition order? And what is the production capacity of the company? Suppose you take, for example, my storage capacity is 1000 tons. I have called for tender for 2000. Every time the storage capacity is 1000. I should not put the stocks outside. And the insurance policy is 1000 tons only. So extra 1000, what has happened? They have paid the amount and they swallowed the amount. So in depth, if at all you are going to be a forensic auditor, the subject area is very, very important. Once I know about the subject, particularly, suppose inventory management, I should know total inventory management. Or intra-firm comparison. This type of company, how much? And out of that, particularly, how much cash sales and creditors? How much creditors are giving time to repay the loan? What type of discounts they are offering? Simple, because here, once the fraud is happened, it is not that much easy to locate the fraud unless I am having the deeper knowledge about the particular subject. If at all prima facie, it is it is a fraud. It is this is a fraud means if at all everybody is talking like that, forensic auditors are not required. Normally, the fraudsters, they will do the frauds with a lot of intelligence, and they will use different strategies. Otherwise, they are in bars. That's why whatever that's why to find out the fraud is also difficult one. So that's why, first of all, if at all any task is given, what is the process? What is the fraud? Which department? Whether it is a marketing department fraud or a production department fraud or a HR department fraud or finance department fraud, different fraud, R&D, research and development. Fraud is not related, even HR. Today, ghost employees, particularly infrastructure companies, ghost employees. 200 people are required. 2000 people ghost employees because all are thumb impression only. That to cash disbursement. No online payment. It is very easy to swallow the funds of the company. Most of the infrastructure companies, manpower, ghost employees, HR. Because here, the migrant labor they will take. Proper identification, KYC, know your employee, KYE, that is not available. About a road construction, this much is required for the benchmarks. For everything, benchmarks are there or turnaround time. Once the fraud was happened, it is very, very, very difficult to identify. Once in-depth and deeper knowledge about the subject is there. So that's why the process of locating the financial or other information that is required to investigate, analyze the fraud case allotted to you by the organization for forensic audit. Process. You take within any process. in that process, suppose research and development, fraud is there. You have to find out what is the process. Tell me. If at all marketing fraud is there, discounts, huge amount of discounts, or below sometimes forced sale, selling price, so many things are there, marketing. And in marketing also advertisement, that is one area where the frauds transactions are happening. Particularly the channels of distribution, the manufacturer to wholesaler, wholesale to retailer, retailer to customer, the channels of distribution. In that particular channels also, lot of things are happening. And the publicity, particularly brochures, they're printing left and right, TV or print media advertisements. And they will tell crores of rupees. Whether that crores of rupees is required for that particular advertisement or not, you have to analyze it. So that's why the first presentation, group presentation, be on the process of allocating that one. Second one, well, the presentation of fraud case in court as witness, forensic auditor, you have to give the witness. What are the steps to be followed and skills that are required to the forensic to present the case properly to the court? Presentation of the case is art as well as science, not simply reading. Step-by-step approach. It is like a story. The listener who is a judge, he has to show keen in listening that particular story. Otherwise, some just no, you are not giving proper information. Okay, we will postpone this case to so and so date, and you change another person like that. Presentation skills are also very much required to the forensic audit. Whenever you are presenting, presentation means once one person investigated, other person will not they present the case. The person who investigated that particular case, he has to present it. He is the right person. He knows the nuts and bolts of that particular system. If at all you are doing a presentation, the investigation, if I am giving a presentation, even though I am having some communication skills, that is not correct. Because you know the total system, the each and every step, how you have investigated, how you find out the fraud, and what are the various supporting documents you have verified, and what is the cross-checking, all these things. If they raise that question, you are the right person to inform, not me, third person. That's why the second question is, while presentation of the fraud case in a court as a witness, forensic audit, what are the steps to be followed? Any synopsis, first you are giving presentation. Synopsis means the company and location, how many directors. After that, when it was a company, the fraud was located, which papers it was announced, later on, who are the financials, like that. After that, what documents you have verified, why you are confident that it is a fraud or not fraud, like that. You have to give in a sequence manner, 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1 or 9 or 11 or 12 zigzag movements are not allowed in the court. Once you are giving presentation in correct manner, then automatically it gives good results. It gives good results. It gives good results. Now coming to, while presenting, this is a second one, third one. How do you conduct the investigation? The various steps that will be followed by the forensic audit of a fraud case allotted to you by a company. How you are going to conduct investigation? The various steps to be followed by the forensic audit. Discuss through brainstorming number of, thereby this group presentation helps a lot to you, for your practice also, in your practice also. How do you conduct an investigation? Various steps are to be followed by the forensic audit of a fraud case allotted to you by a company. Simply investigation. Suppose I take for example, I am an IP. Then NCLT telephoned, Mr. Prasad, we are going to give one case. That name is like this. Are you willing to take the case or not? First, they will telephone. Yes, sir, I will take the case. Immediately, I will note down on a piece of paper. Case name. Immediately, I will go to the ROC website. Okay. They will take a minimum of 7 days to give the order. For that order, I have to go there and collect that order. In the meantime, okay, once received, then I will verify. I don't sit idle. First, what is the case? Immediately ROC. When the balance sheet is updated, from there, how much a gap is there? Who is company directors? Who are their bankers? And what is any press information on the company is there or not? All information within that 6 days, daily some amount I will update. Once they called, Prasad, you come and take that appointment later as an IRP, means the day one I got full information. Immediately, once I visited to that company, first I will go to the finance department. You are having so-and-so bank's accounts. So immediately I will inform to the bank's account. Don't allow any checks in that particular company because I was appointed as a IRP. So I am sending this NCLT order. Stop that one. And in future, whatever the transactions are there, all the transactions I have to sign on the checks, not by the earlier people. And please sign on this particular second copy, mention the date and the time also. So I don't want to wait up to the time here, particularly for forensic audit also. Time management planning is very much required. Okay, anyhow, after 1 week, they use it to send by post, send by speed post means after 2 days, total 8 days. I don't want to sit idle. I'm doing some homework on that particular aspect. So here, whenever I am conducting, suppose they will tell Okay, we are going to give this one investigation. Before going to, suppose to take for example, I received the order on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is also holiday. These 3 days, I will prepare the sketch how to conduct the investigation, the step by step approach, and how much supporting staff I require to investigate this one, and who is competent enough to handle that particular assignment or job, because the forensic audit is the overall head, but supporting staff is also required. Each and every aspect, it is very difficult for him to complete all the big companies. Means some of the people, they have to verify the sales ledger or purchase ledger or cash book or the bank the reconciliation. So many things are there. So that's why this is also very important. Communication skills are one of the traits in getting the required information from the members of the organization. During the investigation of fraud case, explain the communication skills that are required for a forensic auditor during the investigation. Nobody will tell the truth, particularly in the fraud cases. You have to ask in a different mode or a different line and a different questions to extract the truth. That's why communication skills is an art. At any cost. Today, filing of the case in court takes a lot of time, costly also. Arbitration, good. But arbiter should have the skills. Both the parties, he has to manage, he has to convince, and they should be one platform, not on different platforms. So the communication skills are one of the traits in getting the required information from the members of the organization during the investigation of the fraud case. Explain the communication skills required for a forensic auditor during the investigation process. So if at all I'm not a good communicator, but I'm having good knowledge, that is also not sufficient. But I am a good communicator, but I am not having, that is also not good one. The balanced approach is required. You should be a good communicator. At the same time, you should have the knowledge about that particular case also. Then only you will become the winner in this process. So the fourth question is communication, fourth presentation on communication skills. What type of communication skills are required? Finally, he has to extract the truth, because particularly investigation means if you ask straight questions, they don't tell. Nobody will tell. Indirectly, at any cost, you have to get the information from. So that's why this is the fourth question. Now, it is your time to ask the questions. Group 1 and 2 be presented on 6/5/2023. Group 3 and 4 to be presented on 7/5/2023. So first group, first question, second question, third, fourth. Tomorrow I will discuss about the fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. I think some sense is there in this particular presentation. Now, your discussion, sir. Any doubts are there or not? Now I am giving half an hour for you.
Can you once again show the dates for presentation, sir, for the groups?
Madam?
So what you have shown on the slide, the
Ah.
date for presentation for the groups, can you once again share the slide?
Yes, I will share this one, and the coordinator for this, he will take out that 7 members, first group, 7 members, second group, third members,
Excuse
like
me,
that.
sir.
And he will give that links also to you.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Actually, excuse me, sir. We have DFA a group. You can share in that group so that all 70 people will have the information.
And definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, whether the group will be formed by the institute or what?
Initiate only, madam, not me, because I'm only the facilitator for this presentation. And once the presentation is over, then I will communicate who is given the presentation, what is the presentation quality, like that I will inform.
Is there any valuation for this apart from
No,
the
no, no,
exam?
no, 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 no.
Sir, you also brought one important point, sir. As a forensic auditor, whatever the evidences we collect, and there is a need for that evidence to stand the trial or the court. So, is there any further inputs on that, sir? How actually the court will
No, while
consider?
giving the presentation, you have to give that information. You have to go through that particular topic thoroughly, and whatever the important areas are there, particularly the documents or this one, if you present in your presentation, then once you go through that some reading material or any other information, website information, or some particularly the this one articles, then automatically it enlightens your quality of a presentation, not only by particularly knowledge also.
Yeah, I got it, sir. But specifically from court point of view, is there any document in the?
Document, sir, document means suppose one simple example.
Okay.
One Amrutanjan bottle is 20 rupees, but invoice is 2000 rupees. Example. So fraudulent transaction that is paid by the finance department at 2000 instead of 20 rupees. So if at all this fraudulent transactions are happened in the company, means again the market rate of 20 rupees you have to show different companies, and or this company whatever the company purchased, and the 2000 rupees the invoice also you have to show to them. Evidence may be written or audio recordings also. Through course, whenever you are interviewing with even the particular department people, you have to record that one. And once you are highlighted about the investigation findings to the court, the particular bit is to be informed to the judiciary authority, particular portion.
Got it, sir. So you are saying that evidentiary material should be provided at the time of submission to the court.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, if at all I am talking continuously, it is like a story.
Yeah, got it.
For everything also, sir, even general cases also, sir, this is evidence. Please note, they are giving one paper to the judge, and like that, this is the evidence. Sometimes they are showing different methods they are following. That same methods are also to be followed in forensic auditors.
Okay, sir. Good. Thank you.
Particularly advocates, whenever they are presenting the case, if you see, they will present in a structured manner from time to time. Whatever evidences are there, they will take out that evidence. So this is evidence 1, this is evidence 2, this is evidence 3, and all are recorded. Like a forensic auditor, whenever you are presenting the case to the judiciary authority, the similar type of presentation is required.
Sir, as a forensic auditor, we have to go and present with the judiciary
But
in the court of law.
yeah, actually, at the time of contract, at the time of giving the order as a forensic auditor, what are the your job? All are clearly specified in your the order or letter.
Okay, okay.
Accordingly, you have to follow.
But generally, appointment will be done by the banks also.
Bank, suppose a bank terms and conditions of your forensic auditor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If at all you are agreed, sign it and send the copy to us. Duplicate. Normally, the duplicate copy will be signed by the forensic auditor and send it to the bank. Later on, no, sir, evidence you have to engage others means no, boss. At the time of giving the order, you have agreed for that. This is all inclusive of all these things.
Sir, presentation before the judiciary is part of the report, sir.
Sir?
Presentation with the judiciary is part of the report.
Sir, part of the, it is a synopsis of the report.
Okay.
Part of the report, the highlights of the report are to be presented in a sequence manner, in a structured manner, in a presentable manner, in a story manner. You have to inform with the proper giving the evidence papers to the judiciary authority.
Hello.
Tell me.
In this
Tell me, madam.
Yeah, in the resolution process, whether this forensic auditor getting appointed by IRP?
Actually, first the process is like this, madam, under IBC 2016. First, the IRP or RP. First, he has to go through a rough idea about the financial data of the company. And if at all any suspected transactions are there, then he will brought to the notice of the committee of creditors. Sir, here, suppose last year, the buildings are, last year buildings are 20 crores, sir. This year in the balance sheet, it was come down to 2 crores, sir. Some sale of the buildings are happened within the 12 months. And normally the buildings are also depreciation every year. They are calculating 20%, 10%. But 20 minus 10% should be 18 lakhs, 18 crores. But they mentioned 2 crores. But I'm having doubt, but information is not there. Then I will appoint the forensic auditor like that. Then once the COC is approved, then it is brought to the notice of the adjudicating authority.
Okay.
Then adjudicating authority, yes, proceed means then he will appoint. He will appoint. He will appoint
That is-
means he will appoint means the COC will appoint. The IRP or RP is only administrator.
Yeah.
Committee decision is final, and the adjudicating authority the acceptance is required in most of the cases.
Sir, further in this IBC for COCs, is there any obligations, or is it only at the discretion of the COC? We have this fraud investigation related activities, sir.
Only the first, the CO, first, the idea is to be generated, the concept is to be generated from the IRP to the COC. From there, acceptance of COC to adjudicating authority. For
IP only initiate this.
IP will tell, sir, some doubt is there, sir. Some preferential undervalued extortionate and this one is there, sir. Kindly permit. For that also, some example he has to quote, sir. Simply by default, sir, I am having doubt, sir. Please allow me, means some example or some one transaction he has to mention. Like that, some more may be there. Like that, he has to tell.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Otherwise, it is a costly, sir. At that time, I am in a bank. When I am in bank, we used to pay 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs for forensic auditor. Depends upon the size of the company, the size of the transactions, and all these things. It is not a flat rate. Flat rate. Sometimes we will bargain also. For that, no expression of interest like that. But today, some of the IRPs or RP, they are giving a expression of interest in this area also.
So that they can say that they don't have any actual relationship with that fraudulent cases.
But most of the cases, sir, once a COC is approved and adjudicating authority accepted and adjudicating authority approved, no problem will arise. But I used to pay 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs like that. Some bills, because I am the concurrent auditor, I use it to verify how much you paid, who is given the acceptance. This idea when it is they originated in which COC dated. In the COC, the resolution is there or not. As a concurrent auditor, I will start that particular when it was happened resolution. That resolution copy is there or not. Second one, in that resolution, the IRP, particularly IRP, will tell to the COC all are recording. Then this is brought to the notice of the adjudicating that the correspondence. After that, adjudicating that approval. And once it is appointed and the COC accepted or not, once accepted, remuneration is also finalized or not, whether it is informed to the adjudicating authority or not. Only information. Only information. So all these papers are to be attached to that particular invoice. Whenever they are paying that 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs, all these documents are there or not, I use it to verify at that time. No.
COC is comprising of operational creditor and financial creditor, but in the process, who is getting more preference, the operational creditor or financial creditor?
No, madam. Actually, here operational creditors are not having any voting right, and financial creditors are having the voting right. And for this voting right, 66% is sufficient. But whatever the even out of the total debt, if one operational creditor is more than 10% of the total claim, then that operational creditor should also be invited for COC. But he is not having voting rights. But whenever his any views are there, that is also to be recorded properly in the COC.
Sir, this transaction audit and forensic audit both are same, sir, or different?
Sir?
Transactional audit and forensic audit.
Both are one and the same, sir. But even IBC also copied from other countries. Even most of the acts in India is also Britishers. This one, even IBC also dragged from other countries act, but they used the word transactional instead of forensic. But we are using the whenever we are giving advertisement, we are using a forensic auditor like that. Then correct name forensic auditor is not there in the rules or regulations or the code. Only transactional auditor, the nomenclature is there.
So transactional audit conducted by forensic auditor only.
Correct, correct. But that list is also available in IBBA website, sir. Once it is completed and acquired the skills, definitely whoever is there in your area of operation or in other areas. Today, what valuers are doing, once the valuation course is completed, they will write all the IPs. Sir, I am ready to do the valuation of this area. If at all any chance is there, please provide me the chance like that. In the similar manner, transactional audit. Next, sir.
Sir, regarding the presentation,
Ah.
regarding the presentation, group and the members both are formulated by our institute or not, sir?
And normally that coordinator is there. He will, last time also he framed the groups there. And he shared the links to the consent group, one link, same link for the 7 people. And on that day, the 7 people on the screen and other people, they are on the listeners only. And whenever you are giving a presentation, if at all you are talking, your photographs will be displayed. Other people, they will listen only. They will listen only. They will use the chat box if at all they are having their some remarks or any doubts are there.
And topics also, sir?
Sir?
Topic. What are the
topic
topics?
Also he will share. He will share, sir. Topic he will share. This topic is for these 7 people. This topic is for these 7 people. This topic is for these 7 people, like that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Next, sir. Next. Total syllabus completed, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's completed.
But sir, here one more suggestion, particularly for public sector organizations, public sector banks. On behalf of all public sector banks, today public sector banks are 12, 11 plus 1. 11 is nationalized banks, 1 is State Bank of India. 12 are there. These 12 banks, forensic auditors are to be they empaneled by Indian Banks Association, and the list will be circulated to the concerned banks, to all the banks. But whereas forensic auditors are also required for other banks, like small finance banks are there. Regional rural banks are also there. Regional rural banks. They don't give any particularly the advertisement or expression of interest. In those banks, you have to correspond them individually. Individually means all banks addresses are available in rbi.org.in, or if you mention all banks address means in Google, then automatically how many public sector, how many private sector, how many foreign banks, how many regional run banks, how many small finance banks, how many payment banks, all are there. Today, in the banking system, frauds are increasing. The staff is busy with their routine activity. And once the staff is deployed, then the favoritism or vested interest may be there to safeguard the staff. That's why the audit is to be done by the external people, not by the internal people. Forensic audit, why they are giving to the external people? Some rationale is there. What is the rationale? If at all internal people are there, so why should I spoil his career? And he is a poor man. Okay, he did some fraud mistake. And once I am living like that, he will rectify in due course. Like that, some soft corner will be there. But that soft corner, to avoid that one, all organizations they are giving this assignment to the outsiders. So if you want to any other organizations means the list or addresses are available in the RBI website. If you go, if you all banks addresses like that, if you type Google, full address is also here. If you write to those banks by stating your expertise and CV as well as this type of a certificate, some value addition may be there. Some value addition may be there, might be there.
I wanted to say one thing, that in the case of statutory audit and internal audit, when the principal auditors come, then there will be a group of articles coming for the check up with the basic data. After that, their analysis they are putting up to the partners. But now that in this case of forensic audit, that person will go and he will, because in the banking system there is enormous transactions are there in each and every day. So because there any companies are there or professional bodies are there who are doing the forensic audit, and there the because in the very beginning you need experience, and experience if it is not there only with the degree, it is very difficult for you to establish yourself. That is for any profession, it is like that. It is not for the forensic auditor, it is also for the doctors also. So
Correct, that is true. But actually, one of my friend, not now, earlier, that is 6 months back or 8 months back. Boss, do you know any forensic auditors expired? My firm got 3 banks forensic auditors, but we will give some honorarium based on the banks. We will give 50% or 40% like that out of that amount. Anybody known to you? Then I told, no, I don't have any information. And then I don't know anybody about those who are willing to work like this. On the day I told like that. Here, as you told correctly, some big firms, they are always getting. They are always getting. One example I am quoting here. One example I am quoting here. That is called Agency for Special Monitoring, ASM, Agency Special Monitoring. 250 crores and above. 250 crores and above. Loans. Today, banks are closely monitoring. At the same time, the professionals are also closely monitoring. That is either CA or CMA. Like that, they are closely monitoring. Bank is that giving only one account, only one or two accounts to each and every firm. And the firm is in Bombay, but they are getting the agency for special monitoring in Hyderabad means then the firm is unable to come all the way there. This is almost weekly once you have to go there and give the report weekly once. So that's why they're asking anybody is having a competence in agency for special monitoring like that. So like that ASM and forensic audit, some firms, the big firms, they are getting assignments from the bankers, but subcontracts they are giving. Those people I don't know. Most of the people I don't know. Next, anybody, sir? Any questions?
So this empanelment every year they will do, sir?
Every year, sir. Every year. Particularly stock audit every year. Agency for special monitoring every year. Forensic audit is also every year. Every year it is there, sir. But this year, this year, one more new concept that is coming. Statutory audits might not be there, may not be there in the coming years. Why? Because the new concept was introduced in the banking system that is called expected credit loss provisions. Expected credit loss provisions. For that, draft guidelines are issued by the Reserve Bank of India in the first week of February 2023. And they asked the comments from the public before 28th February 2023. And that is the completed process. Across the globe, in most of the countries, they are not following the asset classification like standard asset, substandard asset, doubtful 1 year, doubtful 2 year, doubtful 3 years, loss assets, and accordingly secured portion, how much provision, unsecured portion, how much provision, all these things are there. So in the coming days, this old system, they want to scrap it. Before this system is called IRAC, IROC norms, income recognition and asset classification. Before that, health code system is there in the bank, 1 to 8 health codes. That is scrapped. After that, IROC norms are introduced. Now they are going to introduce expected credit loss provisions. Once the loan is given, the day one, how much the loss will arise for this loan within 1 year. That is also day one only they will provide provisions for that particular new loan also. Once that system is going to be and if that system is introduced by July or so, in addition to forensic auditors, stock auditors, or agency for special monitoring, expected credit loss provision professions are also required for the banks in a big way. Why? Because each and every account, the expected credit loss provision is to be arrived. So this is also one new concept that banks are, the Reserve Bank of India is going to implement in India, particularly as per the World Bank instructions during this financial year. That's why they have issued the draft regulations in the month of first week of February. That is over. Once that is there, one more opportunity will come to the professionals. Sir, any doubts? Actually, syllabus is over. This is a purely interaction. Whatever your doubts are there, I will try to clarify all your doubts. If at all any reference is required, I will go through.
Sir,
Tell me, sir.
this group task, who will give, sir? When we will get?
That the coordinator, sir. Coordinator.
First thing is we should get the note, whatever task. Then how we will coordinate with among the 7 members.
No,
That is
last
also
time he is managed effectively and efficiently, sir.
Oh, is it?
That you please check up that particular person. The last time also he allocated each and every topic to different people.
Okay. Okay. Can we get any standard report so that we can refer, and when presentation we can make it?
Sir, standard report is not there, sir. Suppose it is a presentation, sir. Basically, it is a presentation on that particular subject. On that particular subject. And if at all you are presented in a innovative manner, creative manner, with modern techniques, methodology, then it is useful to all. And first of all, the beneficiary should be yours on that particular topic.
Okay. So at least we can get what should be the content of that report.
Okay. In the last batch also, that PPTs are available with him. He will share to all the people 2 or 3 PPTs. Or video recordings are also there. One video recording is sufficient for all people. Video recordings are also there. That coordinator is there, sir, on the line. What is his name, sir?
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Sir, that the participants are asking about how you are allocating the particular topic. I told 1 to 7 one group, or 7, 8 to
Yes, sir.
14 another group, like that. Or any randomly you are doing or not, sir?
Randomly, sir.
Randomly now.
Yes.
I told, sir, total 70 people. Means each group consists of 7 people.
Yes, sir.
10 topics I am preparing. Today I have discussed 4 topics. And tomorrow also 4 topics. And 8 topics they will have to present on that particular days.
Okay, sir.
Once I have sent that PPT today, the topic name and group numbers are also there, sir. You please follow that one, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Now, still, any doubts are there in the group presentation? And the IBC is one big opportunity for you, particularly the PUFE transaction, PUFE PUFE transaction. Okay, once there tomorrow I completed PUFE transaction, thereafter in banking, which areas are there? I will discuss that one also. In SEBI also, what are the opportunities that are available? I will discuss. After that, group presentation will start. Okay, sir?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much and a good night to all.
Thank you,
and
sir.
Tomorrow at what time, sir? Same time, correct?
Yes, sir. 4 to 6.
Same time, 4 to 6.
Oh, okay,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.